Coverage you can count on. You're watching WTVM News Leader 9, sponsored by Montlick and Associates, Columbus Injury Attorneys.
Good evening. Welcome to News Leader 9 at 6. I'm Barbara Goche.
And I'm Jason Dennis. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. We begin tonight in Columbus, where just hours ago, some of the first COVID vaccines were administered to kids ages 5 to 11.
The CDC announcing the okay last Tuesday.
And News Leader 9's Ashley Williams joins us now live from the Columbus Health Department, where the clinic just wrapping up for today.
So Ashley, how has the turnout been out there so far today?
Jason and Barbara, at last check, 31 kids got the COVID-19 vaccine here at the Columbus Health Department. I talked to one parent who says he's been waiting on this day for a while.
No, I'm just so happy that this day has arrived, and I hope a lot of parents to think about their children.
Starting Monday, 5 to 11-year-olds now have access to low-dose COVID-19 vaccines. The vaccine is made by Pfizer and its partner BioNTech. The second dose will be administered 21 days later. The difference between kids' vaccines and adult vaccines, administrators are using a smaller needle.
Every parent has to make their own choices about their children's health, and we know that children are at low risk for the virus, but if they feel that their children need additional immunity boosting, they can get the vaccine if that's what they'd like to do. They need to do their research, go to credible sources.
Columbus resident Wally Ray brought his son Messiah in to get the COVID vaccine Monday. He tells me he is not worried about possible side effects and that he believes in the power of science.
I've just been worried sick about him and trying to make sure that I keep him focused and keep him healthy. And it's just been scary, this whole crisis. And so finally, this day has arrived, and I wanted to be the first one here in line to get it done.
And the first patient, Mosiah, was. The fourth grader tells me the shot was a breeze. Ray explains he hopes his son's life can return to normal soon so that he can experience his childhood.
I think as a kid, you try to keep their world a little different, but the mask has just been a big headache. But, unfortunately, that's been part of the part that you have to go through in order to make sure that they stay healthy. So once the masks are removed and they can just kind of be children again, I think I feel a lot better.
The Columbus Health Department clinic wrapped up tonight at 6. There will be 2 more clinics this week for kids aged 5 to 11. Those clinics tomorrow and Wednesday from 3 until 6 p.m. No appointment is necessary. Live in Columbus, I'm Ashley Williams for WTVM News Leader 9.
Ashley, thank you. 2 school districts across the river in Alabama are considering changing their mask mandates. This comes as more children can now get vaccinated. News Leader 9's Anaya Spraggs joins us live from our studios tonight. So, Anaya, which school districts are considering making changes now to their mask policies?
Barbara, that change could be coming for Phoenix City schools and Barber County schools. However, that's not the only change elected officials are working on. School officials say COVID positive cases are in the single digits for Phoenix City schools, and no one tested positive for the virus in the past 2 weeks in Barber County schools. With that in mind, as well as children 5 to 11 able to get the Pfizer vaccine now, officials say at their next board meetings, they may get rid of their mask mandate. While getting that vaccine isn't required, Barber County Superintendent Dr. Zacchaeus Bird says there are talks of that also changing.
We've asked the question, is it possible that the COVID-19 vaccination will be added to the other list of vaccinations that, currently all of our students have to have?
Dr. Bird says the state superintendent is in talks with Alabama Governor Kay Ivey to make getting the COVID vaccines mandatory. However, before a decision is finalized, Barber County parents will be asked to submit an online survey about whether they plan on having their children vaccinated. And Barbara, Phoenix City schools will be making that decision at their next board meeting next Thursday. Barber County schools will be doing the same at their meeting next month. Live in the studio, Anaya Spraggs, WTVM News Leader 9.
All right, Anaya, as these numbers go down, more and more districts dropping those mask mandates. Thank you very much.
And speaking of that, as we head into the holiday season, health leaders are urging parents to get kids vaccinated.
Pediatricians with Children's Hospital of Alabama in Birmingham say unvaccinated kids can still get very sick from the virus and can still spread it to older family members at holiday celebrations.
Doctors say the way to ensure safe holiday gatherings is to get your kids the vaccine as soon as possible. Similar to adult vaccines, kids have to wait 3 weeks in between shots, and then you have to wait 2 weeks after the second shot before they are fully protected. But doctors say some protection is better than none.
If you're looking at the holidays, you're looking at having large family gatherings, especially if you have older people, grandparents and stuff attending these family gatherings. You want to get a vaccine. And like I said, look at it's about a month or so from the first dose to protection.
State health leaders in Alabama say local pharmacies and doctors' offices should have doses as early as tomorrow. For more information related to the COVID-19 vaccine or the pandemic, head over to our website, WTVM.com/coronavirus.
Turning now to our weather, definitely a cooler start to the morning, but warmed up really nicely as we look out now from our Alpha Insurance Skycam on this start of the work week from uptown Columbus.
Yeah, the first start of the week and the time change too. You see things getting dark out there early. So what can we expect this evening? Here's Chief Meteorologist Derek Kincaid.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, that sun setting just before our 6 o'clock newscast here. Now that we are in that new time. How about today's highs? We made it back to the 70s. 74 Columbus, 74 New Eufaula. America is 73. So really nice after that chilly start this morning. We were down in the 30s early this morning in spots. Right now, we're at 67 here in the Fountain City. Some of the local spots have already dropped down into the 50s. So it's cooling down a little earlier now, of course, with that time change. The skies remain clear. We can take that sun off there, I guess, but some clear skies on there for you, which we are going to see through the rest of the evening. Now, those numbers will fall off pretty quickly tonight, back down in the 40s here pretty soon, and we're going to be back in the 30s in some places early tomorrow morning. More on the rest of the week and more changes on the way. Come up in your forecast, guys.
All right, thank you, Derek. Well, the House of Representatives passed a scaled-down $1 trillion infrastructure bill.
It included money to repair and replace roads and bridges, broadband, and funding for utilities. And joining us today to talk about it is Gray Television's White House correspondent, John Decker. Hey, John, good to have you back with us.
Hi, Barbara. Hi, Jason. How are you?
Good. All right. First off, 13 House Republicans voted for the infrastructure bill. It was bipartisan legislation, but they're catching a lot of flack from fellow party members. So what are you hearing from both sides tonight?
They are, particularly those on the far right, are criticizing those members of the House who have voted in favor of that bipartisan legislation. But keep in mind, there were 19 Senate Republicans who voted for this legislation when it was on the Senate side, including the leader for Republicans in the Senate, Mitch McConnell, conservative Republican senators like Lindsey Graham of South Carolina. So this was indeed a bipartisan bill. And I think when all is said and done, the reason why Mitch McConnell supported it is because he realized that there are communities all across America that could benefit from repaired roads, bridges, and highways, and improved broadband as well.
And before this infrastructure bill was passed recently, President Biden's approval rating slid in a new poll released just this yesterday. So how unexpected is it that a majority of Americans polled say the president is not paying attention to the nation's biggest problems?
Well, we've seen these decline polling numbers for President Biden over the course of the past few months. 38%, according to the USA Today poll that was released yesterday. The White House believes that this victory, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, as well as another plus for the administration, that's the strong jobs numbers that was reported by the Labor Department on Friday, should give the president a lift, should stop that decline, that hemorrhage in polling numbers. We'll have to wait and see whether that's the case.
Hey, John, as far as that social spending package, are Democrats any closer now to reaching a deal on that?
I don't see any closer involvement for Democrats to reach a deal on that. It seems to me that right now there's just no agreement, I should say, between progressives on one side in the Senate, like Senator Sanders, and the centrist Democrats on the other side, like Senator Joe Manchin. So the president even acknowledged today it's going to be really difficult to pass that bill.
Yeah, difficult indeed.
All right, thanks for being with us tonight. John Decker from D.C. We appreciate your perspective.
All right, thanks a lot.
Up until today, it was unclear if suspended Chattahoochee Judicial Circuit District Attorney Mark Jones would represent himself or maybe find a new attorney. Well, a judge dismissed his former attorney, Chris Briall, we had reported on, after a motion filed by prosecutors citing it would be a conflict of interest for Briall to represent Jones because he's a potential material witness. Well, now the stage is set and court proceedings are underway.
Yeah, Jones will be represented by local Columbus attorney Katanga Wright. At the center of the charges against Jones is body camera footage of a conversation between Jones and a Columbus police officer.
Michelle Holtrip on behalf of Sarah Holtrip. I don't know what the problem is, but they said they was dancing with the gun, whatever the f that means. Shot her daughter, bro. What the f are you doing for that family, bro? That's f up.
DA Mark Jones also facing 2 counts of bribery for offering 2 of his assistant DAs allegedly $1,000 bonuses. Opening statements are expected to happen tomorrow morning, and Columbus and Newsletter 9 will be there.
Well, we are learning Smith Station High School was on a brief lockdown after a student fell off the 2nd floor balcony of the school. The Lee County Sheriff's Office says there's no indication of assault. Officials say there weren't a lot of students around at the time of the fall, as it did not happen during a change of classes. It's unclear what led up to the student falling. The student was taken to a Columbus hospital for a head injury. No word on what grade the student was in or the student's condition at this point. This is a developing story. Stay with us here at Newsletter 9. We will continue to keep you updated as we learn more information.
New at 6, a woman was found not guilty for her mother's death in Valley, Alabama. Heather Christensen was found not guilty by reason of insanity. The Chambers County woman confessed to killing her mother, Frances McDonald, back in 2018. McDonald's death happened on the 36th Street in Valley.
The 2 lived together at the time of the murder. For any new updates from today's stories, all our top stories and more, just download our free WTVM mobile app. Their alerts can be sent directly to your smart device. And all new at 6 tonight, the Alabama Department of Archives and History unveiling 2 statues that commemorate 2 influential Alabama women. 2 new bronze busts are of Patty Ruffner Jacobs and Amelia Boynton Robinson. Jacobs was a leading women's suffrage activist in Alabama.
Robinson was a key figure behind the Selma to Montgomery March. The artist behind the statues speaking today about these sculptures being a bright beacon of hope for her during the pandemic.
As I have come to know more about the lives of these great women, I have been inspired by their courage and determination. I would not have thought that it was possible that my work would one day be a part of this institution. And I hope that these sculptures that are being unveiled today will inspire all who see them with the sense of their own possibilities.
Jacobs and Robinson are the first women to be depicted in the Alabama Department of Archives and History's Statuary Hall.
Yeah, congratulations for sure. Coming up here on the news at 6, a local group in Columbus working to help Black-owned businesses.
Details from the organization on why Black businesses historically face more challenges than other businesses. We'll tell you coming up.